Facebook. Hello, 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 Facebook. How are y'all doing today on this beautiful day? Every day is a beautiful day. I say that every day because every day is a beautiful day. This is day 12 of Fabness, and that means that we are almost halfway through. Not that I'm counting down the days until we're done, but it is amazing that I have been live streaming every single day since the beginning of December, and I will continue to do so through December 24th. As I do every time I go live, I am going to simulcast here on Facebook and on Instagram. So just pause for the cause while I bring in the Instagram crew. Hey, Instagram, how are y'all doing on this beautiful day? Just like I just told the folks over on Facebook, I say every day is a beautiful day because every day is a beautiful day. We are smack dab in the middle of Fabmas. Hello, hello, Leisha Loves 20, Leisha Loves 2. Hello, hello, Ados LS. Thanks for joining. We are smack dab in the middle of Fabmas, where I am going live every single day for the first 24 days of December to talk about all things, y'all. We have been talking about all things mind, business, and branding. And if you have missed the first 11 days of Fabmas, I encourage you. Hello, hello. I see you. I see the love on Instagram. Thanks for joining. Hello, hello, Louise. Thanks for joining. If you have missed any of the first 11 days of Fabmas, I encourage you to go back and run it back on replay because we have been having some really good discussions. I have been dropping straight gems. I have hopefully been transforming the way that you think about your personal brand and your business. And hopefully I've been challenging some of those limiting beliefs and some of those mindset blockers that are keeping you and us from moving forward in our businesses and our brands. So yes, welcome to day 12 of Fabmas, and my name is Nick Scott for those of you that are new. And I am a personal brand coach. I help women entrepreneurs grow, establish, and maintain their personal brands. And today, I want to talk to you about something that is near and dear to my heart. Today, I want to talk to you about something that is near and dear to my heart. And that is, are you too old to be an online entrepreneur? And I say that this is near and dear to my heart because at the very beginning of my online entrepreneurship journey, it was uncomfortable for me. Like, it was straight up uncomfortable for me because I was very uncomfortable with the idea of putting myself out there. And when I say myself, I literally mean myself, my face, my name, where I lived, right? And for those of you that don't know, I am 42 years old. And in my 40s, that means that I am a part of a generation called Generation X, where we did not necessarily grow up on the internet. I mean, as a matter of fact, when I was in college, there was barely an internet. I mean, and when I say barely, I mean barely. And, we had the dial-up. If we did have internet, we paid these high premium prices for dial-up. It was slow. Google was not even a thing back then. I think the first search engine that I searched on was Alta Vista, right? So there was barely an internet. We certainly didn't have access to, smartphones and computers the way that we do. So when the internet came around, sure, I was still young enough to adopt it and to adapt into some of what was going on with the internet. The very first social media website that I was on was called blackplanet.com. I don't know if that's still a thing, but it wasn't even called a social media website back then, but that's what it was. It was a social media website, and that was the very first social media website that I was on, and that was way back when I was in college. That was before MySpace, before Facebook, before Twitter. And so when I decided that I wanted to start an online business, I had a lot of discomfort, and it comes straight out of my generation. And and I'm not speaking for the whole generation, but I'm going to speak for the whole generation because this is my show. And I don't have anyone else here to really co-sign with me, but we're skeptical. We are skeptical. We are notoriously private people, right? And being on the internet, it's like it was just a creepy space for me to be in because I am skeptical, right? And I tried to run my online business when I first started by not giving my name, by not showing my face, by keeping things that I felt was private information private. And it didn't last very long. Eventually, I got comfortable with the idea of putting myself out there on the internet and, showing my face. I eventually started to show my face. Eventually, one thing led into another. And here I am today. Like, my name, where I live, that I'm married, that I have children. Some of you might know what my favorite color is. Like, some personal details about me that I felt back then were private details about me. And we'll talk about that a little bit later, about the difference between what is considered personal information and what's considered private information. Well, here's what I've noticed. I have noticed that a lot, and I mean a lot, of online marketers and entrepreneurs that are hitting that $1 million and higher level of revenue and income, they are within a certain age group. And it's not my age group. They are, by and large, they are in their 30s. And some of them are still in their 20s, y'all. Millionaires in their 20s, in their 30s, right? And I feel like it's a disproportion when it comes to the amount of online marketers and entrepreneurs that are in their 40s and 50s and older. So what is it about these younger folks? And I don't mean to say younger folks to throw shade or to make it seem, like you're inexperienced or anything, but you are younger than me. I mean, you're closer to my children's age than you are to my age if you're in your 20s, right? So these younger folks, I feel like they just have something about their mindset when it comes to putting themselves out there that those of us that are in our 40s and 50s and older, that we just don't have. We just don't have it. So I told you a little bit about my story, right? About how I was very skeptical and basically it was fear. Let's just call it what it is. Skepticism is another form of fear. And I was fearful to put myself out there. Yes, Chrissy Spears says no fear. And that is what the younger generation has that we don't. I mean, they're just fearless. They are the ones who grew up with personal branding, right? And we can't really know for sure why it is this disproportionate number of folks in their 40s and 50s and older, my generation X and older, why we're not hitting those $1 million marks as frequently and as fast as our counterparts, right? Our colleagues. These are our colleagues. If you are an online marketer and an online entrepreneur, these are our colleagues. Why are they hitting these $1 million and $1 billion marks? Let's be clear. And we're not. I mean, we can't know for sure, but I know I would put money on the fact that these younger online entrepreneurs, they are comfortable and they embrace the fact that they have to promote themselves, not necessarily their businesses, right? Because some of these folks, we don't even know what their businesses are, but we know about them, right? Self-promotion is not a foreign concept for the younger online entrepreneurs and the younger online marketers. It just isn't. Self-promotion was a foreign concept for me many, many years ago, right? If you know my story, you know that self-promotion, I relied solely on traditional things. I relied solely on my education. I relied solely on the things that I brought to the table. But I never relied on self-promotion because I undervalued the equity that's in my personal brand. because I didn't understand it. But I would bet that these younger entrepreneurs and these younger online marketers, they understand the equity that is in their personal brand, because it's not a foreign concept for them to self-promote themselves. Excuse me. So while these young entrepreneurs and these young marketers might not be seasoned in age, what they have over us, we're older, we have more life experience, we have more professional experience. We might be real comfortable with who we are offline, right? And in certain spaces to a certain extent, these younger entrepreneurs and these younger online marketers, they are seasoned. They are well seasoned, y'all. I mean, well seasoned, like deliciously seasoned in the art and the science of personal branding. Like they know how to do it better than we do, right? But they have no qualms about putting themselves out there. Like they're like, boom, put myself out there. Boom, put myself out there. They have no qualms. They have no problem publicly and shamelessly. They are shameless with it, right? They are shameless with sharing the attributes that make up their personal brand. And remember, the attributes that make up your personal brand, it's your life experience. It's your professional experience. It's the awards that you have achieved. It is all of the things about you that make up your personal brand. And they're not afraid to publicly and share their successes. They're not afraid to publicly and shamelessly share their failures. They are comfortable in that thing called a personal brand, right? They're not even afraid to talk about details about their journey. They're just not. But why would they be? Because when you think about it, when you think about folks that are, like I said, closer to my children's age than to my age, they have grown up watching athletes, entertainers, comedians, musicians, and entrepreneurs leverage their personal brands to become millionaires and billionaires. They have been watching it passively and actively their entire lives. They've been hearing it. They've been immersed in it. They've grown up in the internet era. So the internet wasn't real foreign to them. They're very comfortable with the internet. They're very comfortable with social media, right? I mean, think about it. Like, think about some of these folks that are in those spaces that I just mentioned who have leveraged their personal brands. Leverage their personal brands in conjunction with that traditional stuff, right? With their natural talents and abilities. Who are some of those folks? The first people that come to my mind are people like Lebron James. LeBron James is naturally gifted in his area of athleticism. He's hands down one of the best basketball players ever to step foot on the basketball court. I mean, nobody can really argue that, right? But aside from basketball, LeBron James has built a very strong and profitable personal brand. So he took all that traditional stuff that I used to rely on to get me, to promote me and to move me up in my career and to grow my business. He took his natural athleticism, right? And he combined it with the power of his personal brand, and he's a powerhouse, y'all. LeBron James is a powerhouse in his industry because he knew something that Michael Jordan didn't necessarily know, right? Michael Jordan, another great basketball player, another one of the greats to ever step foot on the basketball court. But Michael Jordan, he was a brand, but it was a little different than how LeBron James does it, right? Somebody else that comes to mind is all the Kardashians, every last one of them. I don't even know their names. But I know, I don't know their first names. I know their last names. And I know that these are folks that a lot of people are like, well, what is it that they even do, right? What is it that they do? But they have built powerful businesses, profitable businesses, right? Off of their personal brands. And these younger entrepreneurs, these younger online entrepreneurs and younger online marketers, they have watched folks like LeBron James and the Kardashians and Kevin Hart, right? Kevin Hart, again, naturally talented, gifted in his craft of comedy. But he's even more profitable. His businesses are more profitable because he's been able to leverage his personal brand. Rihanna did it. Issa Rae did it. My good friend Mark Zuckerberg did it. Like these folks, these are the folks that these younger online marketers and entrepreneurs have been watching their whole lives. So they've been comfortable in it. They've been comfortable in the space of personal branding. But those in my generation, personal branding still makes us uncomfortable. Like it still makes us uncomfortable, even though we have evidence, we have so much proof that personal branding works. It works. It works in the way of increasing not just visibility for yourself, but for your products and your services. Like these young entrepreneurs online are not going, are not, I'm sorry, I said going because a text message just came in that said going. These young online entrepreneurs and marketers, they know that there is value in their personal brand, right? While older folks, we're uncomfortable with it. We tend to overthink personal branding. Like, I don't understand personal branding. It really isn't that hard. It's everything about you. And it's shamelessly walking in it and selflessly promoting yourself. So we overthink it to the point that it all just becomes too confusing to us. We don't embrace the power of putting ourselves out there, and we've been misled. We have been misled to believe that personal branding is all about sharing your private business on the internet. That's not what it's about. Personal branding is personal. So earlier I said we were going to get back to talking about personal and private information. I was on a podcast recently and the host asked me, when you were in your influencer days, you put your kids out there, but you didn't share too much personal information. I said, well, I shared a lot of personal information. And I do. I share a lot of personal information. The fact that I'm married is personal, right? And my kids were online when they were younger. And the fact that I shared that piece of my life with you, that's personal. But what was private at that time, what was their names, their legal names, right? What was private was the schools that they went to. Personal information about myself is that I'm married. That is a personal detail about myself. But what's private are the things that actually my husband and I do. Like, you don't get to know all that, but you know that I'm married. You know that I'm a mother, right? You know that I live in Denver, but you don't know my address because my address is private. So there's a difference between what's personal and what's private. And I believe that a lot of my generation and older, I feel like we've been misled to believe what is personal is actually private information. And it is putting us at a deficit when it comes to hitting those million and billion-dollar revenue marks that our younger colleagues are hitting every single day. Listen, y'all, I saw come across my timeline just yesterday a young Black woman who is 23 years old. 23 years old, half my age, right? She hit $100,000 in revenue for her business in less than 1 year. 23 years old. And she's a young Black woman. The amount of women entrepreneurs, online or offline, that do not hit that six-figure mark is staggering. There are so many women entrepreneurs. As a matter of fact, women are becoming entrepreneurs at a faster rate than anybody else at this day and time. But we're also not we're not even hitting the six-figure mark. This young woman, 23 years old, hit it in less than a year. Online marketer and entrepreneur. How is she able to do it? But someone who's twice her age, who also wants to hit the 6-figure mark? Why is it taking the older woman so long? Or why doesn't the older woman ever hit it? And I think it's because of that mindset about promoting yourself. This young woman, this 23-year-old that I'm talking about, she shamelessly promoted herself all year long. She is about it, okay? She's talking about her business. She's talking about, I don't even know the name of her business. Let me be clear. I don't even know the name of her business, but I know her name. She talks about her wins. She shares her failures. She talks about her journey, her whole journey, right? She talks about personal information, not necessarily private information, but she hit her revenue goals because she understands the power of personal branding. And I say it all the time. If you, at this point, if you've been watching me or listening to me for any amount of time and you don't understand that there is value, like real equity, real money in your personal brand, then I really don't know what else to do or say, right? So we are comfortable, like my generation, we're comfortable, but yet we dream of more for ourselves. Like I want more for myself, and I know you want more for yourself. We want more for our businesses. We want more for our families. We want more for our legacies. But like I said, that disconnect between personal branding and selfless self-promotion, and that link between who I am as a person and my business, it matters. It matters. The youngest generation of consumers, they want to know who you are. They want to know about you. They want to know some personal things about you. We have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, right? We took those bold steps to start our businesses. We answered the call of entrepreneurship. So we have to start to take even bolder steps so that we can start to level up like our counterparts. Let me tell y'all something. I don't care how old you are. You can be in your 40s like me. You can be in your 50s, your 60s, your 30s, your 20s, or you can be a teenager. I don't care what your age is. If you want to know what this personal branding thing is all about and how to make it for yourself, I invite you to download the roadmap. Download the roadmap, because in that roadmap, it's going to lay it out very plainly for you. It's going to lay it out very clearly for you how you can start to build a personal brand that will set you up to generate profits and to have a sustainable business. So get the roadmap. You can get the roadmap on my website at inickscott.com/roadmap, or if you are on Instagram, just click the link in my bio, get your roadmap. If you are on Facebook, you can see the roadmap link right in the caption and description of this post. Y'all, this personal branding thing is not going away. It's not going away. And if you are committed to seeing your business grow to the exponential heights that you know that it can grow, I encourage you and I plead with you to start getting serious about your personal brand. I am living proof and a living testimony that personal branding works. I named a bunch of celebrities earlier. They are testimonies and living proof that personal branding works. All of these younger online entrepreneurs and online marketers, they are proof that personal branding works. This has been day 12 of Fabmas. Thank y'all for rocking with me today. This one was good. This one was, real personal for me, right? And I hope that it hit some of you in an uncomfortable yet motivating way. So day 12 of Fabmas, my name is Nick Scott. I am a personal brand coach, and I help women entrepreneurs establish, grow, and maintain their personal brands. And I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.